Hello, this is the NICU Lived Network, and we are your hosts. I'm Melinda.
I'm Nat.
And I'm Emma. We are all NICU mothers using our lived experience to partner with health professionals to impact research, advocacy, and clinical practice.
Each week we will bring you something new. It could be a topic highlight, the latest in research, a visit to a NICU, or ways in which you can use your lived experience within the NICU to impact change. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another week and another episode. You're here with Nat and Mel, and today we've got a really special guest, Dr Rebecca Liackman, who's going to talk. Hi, Rebecca. Who's going to be talking to us about SMS4Dads, which is absolutely fantastic. But before we get into that, Rebecca, do you mind telling us about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm talking to you from a Wabakal land, which is up near Newcastle. You might see it in the background there. And I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. We know that First Nations people have strong connection to land, waterways, culture, spirituality, and also strong connections with their families and communities. And so that's one of the strengths, I think, of that community. And I'd like to talk about that, how the NICU community can draw on those strengths as well. But a little bit about myself. I'm 52. I grew up in the UK. I did a medical degree there, and I did a paediatric rotation until I came to Australia in 2000. I was on a NICU rotation. I worked at Westmead, Liverpool Hospital, the John Hunter and Hornsby, and also did a retrieval service. So I had a bit of experience as a paediatric registrar. Then when my first son was born, I spent a few days as a mother in NICU. He had a low blood sugar because I had gestational diabetes. Since then, I've actually not been in clinical practice now for 18 years, and it's actually my second son's 18th birthday today.
Wow.
So that's about how long it is since I've been in NICU. Since then, I did be a stay-at-home mom for a long time, for 8 years, and then I've done some tutoring and teaching at the University of Newcastle, and since then I've done a master's in public health, which I finished in 2020, and I've been working in public health and the University of Newcastle since then. But SMS4Dads has been a big part of my life for probably about 4 years. I first met the principal investigator, Richard Fletcher, who's definitely an advocate for fatherhood. He's been working in that space for 30 years. And he started SMS4Dads in about 2015 with another chap called Chris May. The idea was born really from trying to reach out to dads to get them involved with co-parenting, really. And they initiated the program, which is a text message service. Sending short text messages out to dads. Usually it's about 3 times a week. And they have 3 pillars, the messages. The number one is to try and get dads to look after themselves, because we all need to be well, to be feel good about being a parent and being a support person. Secondly, about bonding with their either unborn baby or their new baby. And thirdly, again, about being a co-parent and being in that transition, even in the relationship with the partner, if they have one, from becoming a non-parent to a parent. And so now the text messages, they start at 12 weeks gestation, so dads can sign up from then, and they go till the baby's just under 1 year old.
Wow, that's
it's
a long
free.
period.
It's free and it's national. We do have a federal grant at the moment from the Department of Health. We're trying to reach out to rural and remote dads because we know that those communities are underserved, and we know that they don't have as good access to healthcare and other communities as people in the metropolitan areas. So that was the thrust of that latest grant. Yeah. I can keep talking.
We have the short little video. Should we play that for everybody and let them? Yes, let's do that. And then we'll keep chatting.
Great.
New dad, or a dad-to-be? Chances are you've got questions and doubts about what's happening with your baby, and well, about being a good dad. Don't worry, it's the same for pretty much everyone. The problem is, there's just not a lot out there that speaks directly to dads. That's where SMS4Dads jumps in. SMS4Dads is a free text message service that delivers advice, tips, and support straight to your phone. Once you've signed up, dads receive 3 text messages a week synced to your baby's stage of development.
SMS4Dads has been a really great support.
I think like the support there, some of the messages are so relatable, and
It's a really good bridge, I think, to try to get another view from someone that doesn't necessarily know you but is there for your support.
Knowing that, there is resources out there to help dads makes me feel good.
I'm just going to pull it out because I just want to see, just so I can actually read the messages, and I actually wrote back to this one. I'm loving the attention and affection from you just now, Dad. I'm trying to find lots of different ways to get it. I can't have too much. And said that was sent at 20 to 6 in the afternoon, and that's when I'm home with my daughter, and there you go, and actually sent back some love hearts too.
The science tells us that the role fathers play in their kids' early childhood influences their baby's brain development.
Now we know that it matters how the dad interacts with the baby, and we know that it affects the baby's brain development. The way that you play, the way that you cuddle, the way that you change their clothes, all the interactions a dad has with their baby right from day one, that makes a difference. The best thing for your baby is if the dad is involved right from the start as much as he can be.
Messages begin from as early as 12 weeks into their partner's pregnancy up until their baby turns 1. SMS4Dads helps fathers understand and connect with their baby and partner. It also checks in on their well-being and offers professional support if needed. SMS4Dads is free. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
I like those examples of the messages because it's hard for me to kind of envisage what the messages are like. When that guy was talking about the type of message, you got to say, oh, right.
Yeah, 100%. And I signed up myself so that I could have that experience of what it's like. So the messages are really short. I don't know if you know much about SMSs, but 160 characters is like one message. So we always try and stick to less than 160 characters. So it's punchy and straight to the point. And sometimes we have a link in there. So we often link out to a network such as Raising Children, Panda, which is the perinatal anxiety and depression. We're partnered with them, and also Red Nose. So what has happened in the last couple of years is we've now got actually 4 tailored set of messages. First, we might talk about NICU because that's why we're here. So originally, we created probably just about 9 messages that we were going to send to dads who had early arrivals, so actually less than 34 weeks gestation. But since the beginning of last year, we partnered with Miracle Babies and Life's Little Treasures Foundations. We co-designed a survey actually reaching out to people with lived experience, mums and dads, to say, what did you want to know? What would have helped? What would have helped dad get more involved? Because as we all know, it's tricky for dads to be a part of NICU when a lot of the focus is on mum and the baby's usually in an incubator. We got a great feedback from that. People telling us what they wish they had known and what would have helped them to be more involved. Because as you saw from the video, we want dads to be involved as soon as possible, even if they're in NICU. So we have created over 50 messages from that information, and we've had feedback from a lot of clinicians and a lot of parents trying to tweak the messages to get them to be on point, and so that dads read them and go, yeah, that's great. That's what I want to know. I'm doing the right thing. Thank you for that support, because as I said, a lot of the focus is on mom, and dads can sometimes feel a little bit kind of left out, and that's not a great start. We want everyone, like you mentioned before, Mel, sort of family integrated care is what we're after. And even as they go home, and that's an area that, it's a period of vulnerability. They've had all that support in NICU, and then they go home and it's like, who do I turn to now? So SMS4Dads, it's in the pocket, it's not intrusive, it's short, it's snappy, and we hope that dads are going to find those messages useful.
So when a dad signs up, you said it's from 12 weeks. So is he on, I guess, like the pregnancy path, and then there is a way for you to know that the baby's been born early, and it kind of clicks over to now a NICU dad?
That's exactly right, Mel.
Wow,
we're just working on that process now. So dads can respond to any message that they receive. And we want dads to say, oh, baby's born, or oh, baby's gone to NICU. And then we can actually communicate with them. So it's not intended to be two-way. But we do get a lot of messages from dads sort of saying, oh, I love that message, or, you know, little Bobby's done this or whatever. So it is two-way, and we do want to have that sort of communication so we know we can send dads the best messages, because we also have messages for First Nations dads. We also have messages for dads whose partner has mental distress. We also have messages for dads and their partners who've lost a baby. And so when we do our launch, which I'm going to invite you to in Melbourne,
fantastic,
Melbourne on Thursday, the 4th of May, we will be launching all those new message sets. So hopefully dads will have access to those. And we know that if dads feel supported and involved, moms are going to benefit. And so are the babies and the families.
Rebecca, do you mind providing me an example of some of those messages for NICU parents or for NICU dads? Just one or two, just to get a sense of what they...
Yes. So now you're putting me on the spot. I'll have to click over. I've actually got them open. So I hope you can still see me. So the first message is for Dad NICU. Focusing on things you can control will help you cope with the NICU, such as being physically active, eating well, and looking for the positives. Another one is, it's a big deal to have a baby in the NICU. Accept help from family, friends, and colleagues. Take leave when you can, and save some for getting home. Now, actually, one other thing I want to say is some of the messages are written as if they're from the baby. Because we found that dads really relate to that, and it helps them sort of experience or understand, I suppose, what their baby is experiencing. So, for example, this would be, being involved with my care right from the start will help you cope with the stress, Dad. Ask staff what you can do. Get involved as soon as you can.
That's beautiful.
So those are 3 messages. And what we're planning to do is have the NICU messages delivered daily, because it's an intensive experience. We want to deliver those messages every day. But as I said, they're short. You can opt out whenever you want. If they don't suit you, you can opt out. It's easy.
And you said you had about 50 messages.
Yeah.
Wow. I think the really amazing thing is that it's been designed together in conjunction with parents, and that's really what we want to highlight with the network, is how parents can contribute to the type of treatment and care that really makes a difference, which is amazing. Like, I think it's absolutely fantastic that you've been able to incorporate that. And you're right, in the NICU, sometimes dads are just the ones, unfortunately and sadly, just get so forgotten because there's so much focus on baby and mum, that the dads are, you know, can be very unsure about their place, and very you know, their worries intensified because mum's worried about baby, but dad worries about mum and baby. And, you know, it's very hard to be able to support them. So it's absolutely fantastic.
And we know that dads don't want to take the focus off the moms. So they just sort of hang in there and, you know, I'll be right. And because they are definitely concerned about the health and well-being of their partner and their baby. So, but we need you to step forward, dads. We know that dads have needs, and we need them to be included. But it's a really exciting day today, apart from my son turning 18 and being on this interview. We're going up to the John Hunter Hospital to interview a dad who's actually in NICU at the moment, and we'll be having those videos available on our website. So I'm heading off there in a couple of hours, and we'll interview some dads and one of the nurses that's working in the NICU at the John Hunter in Newcastle. And also today I've received a message from a NICU nurse in Canberra saying, we really need this program because we're finding that the dads especially are not as engaged, especially since COVID, because of course we all know that parents were not allowed in as much over COVID. And we need to get parents re-engaged, and that includes dads.
Yeah.
And the service... sorry.
It's more of an anecdote, but I remember when I first heard about the project, I thought that was so cool because I remember I used to kind of through Miracle Babies visit families in the NICU just to say hello and provide that peer support. And I'd get comments from mums about what can I do for my partner or our husband? Is there any service? And I was for him, and I didn't know if there was anything specifically targeted. But I was like,
This is easy.
Absolutely perfect.
Nothing to lose and no risk. But as anything, any sort of initiative or intervention, it doesn't suit everybody. And so we know that there's a diverse range of people who are accessing our service, and we are trying to be as inclusive as possible. But yeah, people have different needs. We're available.
Yeah. And it is available nationwide.
Yeah.
Across Australia. I've actually got a slide. I might put that over the top.
And
this will be able to, so people can, so it's free, it's simple, and so they just go to SMS4Dads.com and sign up.
They can sign up from there, and we will be contacting all the NICUs in the next week or so when we get our enrolment process perfect. We'll be contacting the NICU so that they can have those sorts of posters, and dads who are in the NICU can sign up straight away and get access to the so it's up to 7 weeks, but we know that not all babies stay in that long, and some stay a lot longer, but this is what we've got available at the moment. As I said, we do have other message sets that dads can link into up to when baby turns 1.
So once a dad's gone home with their NICU baby, does it just go over to the other set of going home? Yeah.
What we're calling the standard set.
Yes.
So we're hoping that will work for the majority of people, especially, with the age and stage of development. If the baby's extremely premature, we'll try and sync that with their expected date of delivery.
Oh, it's fantastic. Isn't it amazing how, like your idea, and now you said you've got that standard set, but you've been able to tailor it and grow it and have all these, new sets be able to launch. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
I would like to share that I think it takes a village to raise a child, and I hope that people out there can embrace lots of other people who want to be involved with raising a child, because that takes the pressure off the parents. Try and be authentic, real, be honest with people. It's not all about those images that we see on social media of, the perfect baby, this sort of thing. I think that can be a little bit damaging. So I'd like to express to people, be honest and real with your communities. If they're not giving you what you need and making you feel good, then please remove yourself from those communities, because there's so many that are doing great work. And we all need that. We can't do this job on our own. We need the village. Yeah.
And it's wonderful to have support, especially for dads, through SMS4Dads. It's amazing.
Yeah, dads are getting heaps better. I think they want to be involved, and they want to be a part of it. And it's just, we need to embrace them and tell them they're doing a great job, and it's really important.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you're doing through the program. It's incredible to be able to have that support for dads. And also it's so, being an SMS and on your phone, like it's not something that's, in their face and it's, overwhelming. Yep. It's something that they can, and it's a relationship that they can have without having to express it to everybody, which I think is really important as well. It's amazing. Sure. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing this with us.
And I'll send you the invite to Melbourne.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And we'll share that too. Yeah,
Okay.
anything that you've got, we'll definitely share with our community, and that way, when these new sets get launched and you've got new information to share, we'll be very happy to do that.
Thanks, heaps.
Awesome.
Hope you have
Thank
a great
you so
day.
much, Rebecca. You too. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on another episode of the NICU Live Network. Thanks for joining us today. To stay connected, please make sure you're following us on social media and have joined our Facebook group.
And if you found value in this episode, please share, like, or comment.
We'll see you on the next episode.